Hi, we've made this video primarily to help you attempt the Diploma in Cyber Law exam and hopefully do well at it. My name is Gokul Narayan and I'm the lead faculty of the Asian School of Cyber Laws. I'm also the person responsible for making your question papers and contributing to the books that you've already read. However, chances are if you are reading these books on the last day or the day prior to the examination, you're unlikely to do well. Hopefully, you're watching this video well in advance. In terms of how to approach this course material, I would request all the participants to start off with the basic understanding of book one. Spend time, get your framework correct, get your fundamental basics solid. Once you finish book one satisfactorily enough, you may jump to any of the other books because they do not follow a particular order. I personally prefer book four the most because that has the most meat, the most content, even from the point of view of the examination. So, book one, book four, and then book two or three, whichever one you find most convenient. Book two has the most technical concepts, so it would be important if you can spare a little bit of time to try and understand the application of e-commerce and legal issues. It will take you a little bit of time, but we've prepared a few videos that should make that process easy for you. So the manner in which you're going to approach this course material is first book one, then book four, and then based on your choice and whatever you find more interesting, book two or book three. From the point of view of the examination, the focus of the examination is about 40% of the examination is based on book four, and then 20% each on the remaining books. As long as you've read the course material thoroughly, you should not have a problem with the examination. A very common inquiry we get from our students often is what kind of questions are expected in an open book online examination. Now, the manner in which we've created our database is to ensure that our participants and students understand the application of cyber law rather than memorizing and replicating its contents. Now, what do I mean by this? For example, you could get a question like a situation is given to you in terms of a hack that takes place, and the application of that section has been explained through certain sections which have been provided in the options. What you're expected to do in this situation is read the situation and try and analyze which of the sections which have been provided in the options are most likely to be applicable to this situation. So, the basic idea of the questioning pattern in this examination is to ensure that we understand that our participants have figured out how to apply the given law to a particular scenario. The focus is not on replicating content, and therefore obvious questions in which the answers can be easily found through a basic reading of the course material are avoided. There will be some questions like this which can be easily deciphered from the course material, but a majority of the questions will require the participant to read and understand the course material. Here are a few suggestions and tips on how to successfully attempt this examination. Now, in case you've never attempted an online examination before, you are going to find it a little disconcerting. I would request you to do the following. A, ensure that you've got good internet connection. B, make sure that you've got a stable electricity connection. C, make sure that your books are easily accessible to you. And D, please make sure that you've read these books thoroughly before the examination starts. Now, in an open book examination, there are certain do's and don'ts that you must observe. What are they? When I take an open book examination, the primary focus with which I work is to make sure that I go through the list of questions as soon as I possibly can. So, for example, if you have 50 questions in the question paper that you're going to be given, I do the first reading as quickly as possible. Now, I'm presuming if I have studied the course material well, there should be at least 20 questions to which I short know the answers. I don't even have to think. The options would basically be absolutely clear to me, and I'd be sure what the answers are. So in my first reading, I try to attempt these questions. So my first reading basically gets done within 20 minutes. Please remember that your entire examination is for 120 minutes. That's 2 hours. If you're able to read all 50 questions and attempt approximately something between 10 and 20 questions in your first reading. It should take care of a lot of your basic issue. However, what I'd also like you to do simultaneously is have a sheet of paper next to you. In this sheet of paper, distribute your questions in three categories. Category number one, which you know the answers to 100%, note them down. Category number two, the questions which you're confused about or which you need to think or ponder over. And category number three, questions to which you have absolutely no clue. Now, I'm presuming that if you've studied the course material well, the number of questions in category 3 should be limited to about 5 or maximum 10. However, there could be a large majority of questions that fit into category 2, the kind of questions to which you need to think and ponder over. If your first attempt at reading the entire question paper and attempting the first 10 questions can be done with a time frame of anything between 20 to 30 minutes, it leaves you approximately with 90 minutes to attempt the rest of the paper. If the third set of questions that you have can be attempted within the next 10 minutes, because as it is, you have no clue about what the answer is, I would request you to select the most likely option and leave it. Do not leave any question unanswered because we don't have negative marking. The second category is what becomes important. If you're able to finish the first and the third category within 40 minutes, you basically have another 80 minutes to finish the rest of the paper. Now, this is sufficient amount of time to finish the remaining questions, which should be ranging between 30 to 20 questions, 20 to 30 questions, which basically means you have a bare minimum of 2.5 minutes per question. Since you've already read the question, you will not have to read it all over again. All you need to do now is go to the specific section, interpret the section, and select the most appropriate answer. For this purpose, it's imperative that you have marked your book well. The book has already been broken down in the form of an index which tells you and helps you reference and go to the specific page. However, if you're looking at illustrations and you want to know specific pages on which illustrations are there, I would request you then further paginate it according to you and have your own index. For example, if you're looking at the definition of the word computer and want to refer to the case of Diabol systems, you should know offhand itself which book does this appear in and what page number does this refer to. If you have your own index for this purpose, it will make your process of referring to the specific page less time consuming. One of the biggest problems that I've seen students have is people turning pages over because they're unsure on which page they have read which content. They've read the content, but they can't remember where and in which book they have read it. My basic suggestion being, make sure that you have all the available text material either available online or in the form of a physical copy, easily accessible on the table on which you are giving the examination. If it's physical books that you have, open them up to the relevant pages and paginate them so that it makes access easy. Or prior to the examination, open up the relevant sections online and have them readily accessible. These suggestions can really help the process of giving this examination, because all you need to be able to successfully give this examination is have the time to apply the concepts that you have acquired during your study of 6 months. As long as you're not in a hurry and you're not pressed for time, you should be able to do this examination relatively well. However, if you still have questions for us, please feel free to write into our examination department and we'll try and help you out to the best of our ability. Enjoy and best of luck.